don't like wearing my natural hair.
I hate my short natural hair.
I hate my natural hair.
I hate my hair.
We grew up hating our natural hair.
I hated my natural hair.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Cabby, CEO and owner of Locs, an all-natural product line for locked and loose natural crowns. And today we have something a little different. So I'm actually in a waiting room, and so while I'm waiting, I decided to make good use of my time. So this is not my usual lab background, so excuse the background, but I wanted to have this conversation today because I've been seeing a lot of videos online about natural hair. And so we know natural hair, it is beautiful. It's powerful and it's deeply rooted in our identity as Black women. But in many places, it's still judged, questioned, or even penalized. So in this video, we're going to explore real stories and struggles of Black women who face biases, frustration, or pressure about their natural hair, especially in professional settings. So these clips aren't just stories, they're a reflection of a much bigger conversation that we need to keep having. So let's check out some of these clips.
I don't like wearing my natural hair. Usually when I wear my hair out, people say it's nappy. Say when I'm gonna get my hair done that I look like a clown. I got ninja hair. People that try to stick stuff in my hair, love touching my hair, or they just say I look crazy wearing it. Wearing my natural hair is exhausting. Everybody always has something to say. Palm people, they're always staring. They're always like, oh my gosh, look at your hair. Is that your natural hair? That weave? Yeah, like, I get treated a lot better by Black men when I wear weave. If I wear loose curly wigs, Black men say,
Oh my gosh, is that your real hair? Oh, you got that good hair.
and when I say it's weave, they get so disappointed. But I've noticed loose curly hair is a standard and accepted because you have that good hair and not that nappy hair. I feel like people treat me like a normal person when I wear weave. My hair isn't always the topic of discussion. People aren't pointing and staring like I'm some kind of freak show. I just be wanting to exist and be me. But I'm Black, so.
Ooh, child. You could just hear the exhaustion in her voice about constantly having to code switch, and you know, in the professional setting, in her personal setting, whether it's in dating, is the constant need to switch it up. She did talk about how when she wears her natural hair out, it's always this huge conversation. And I remember, and when I was in the corporate world, and when I changed my hair, you know, let's say if I had braids, but then I wanted to wear a weave or something like that, or even change it to my natural hair, it was always this huge conversation around my hair. And so I think we find that we get a lot more of that conversation when we start to wear natural hair. It is like a centerpiece, if you will, and people oftentimes want to touch it, and it just puts us in a situation where it always has to be a topic of discussion. And if you're somebody like me, I don't want my hair to be the topic of discussion when I go to work. I'm coming to work. And so, but you also heard her comments regarding dating. She's preferred, she gets different treatment when she's wearing curly wigs and other hairstyles. So it is exhausting having to code switch all the time. It's, you know, sometimes you just want to just be, right? And that's kind of what I hear in her voice. She just wants to be able to wear her hair naturally, or she wants to wear other styles, but it to not be the focus of who she is. And so I think we all can relate to that.
I hate my short natural hair. I can't lie to you guys, I'll be so honest. It has definitely tested my confidence. And before the natural hair bandits come from my bum, I absolutely love my natural hair. Don't get it twisted. But on this journey, one thing that I learned about myself is that I placed a lot of emphasis on length of one's hair, defining their beauty. Now, of course, when you literally don't have that length anymore, you have literally exposed yourself to embracing the growth of your hair, and it honestly has slapped me back into reality that this is something in which I have to journey with and actually see it through. Like, there's no fast tracking the growth, especially when you've got 40 hair. You're gonna have to take a hot seat.
So this next video of this sister saying that she hates her natural hair, like, I don't think she actually hates her hair. I think what she's commenting on is the fact that how slow it takes for C hair to grow. And it's the truth. I mean, if you have tightly coily hair, it does take quite a bit of time. And oftentimes you're seeing 80% or more of shrinkage when you're wearing your hair natural. So even when you have length, you won't see the length. But I think what she's expressing here is that, you know, the time to wait to allow her hair to grow out is the part that makes her feel slightly uncomfortable. It does test your patience if you like to see your hair longer. What I'm hearing from her is that she's learning to embrace where she is and to have patience through the process. And when you have natural hair, you must have patience. There's no way you're going to be able to sustain natural hair if you're not patient with yourself, or locks, or any other type of natural hairstyle. Even when you get your hair braided, like, you have to be patient, and sometimes I've sat down for 12 hours or longer to get braids installed. So I think natural hair in general is you have to have patience with your hair. And so that's what I'm hearing from the sister. So I don't want us to think that she's saying she actually hates her natural hair. I think she's saying that the time that it takes for it to grow and to get to where she wants it to be, she finds that it takes a longer time, which is forcing her to be patient.
I hate my natural hair. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to wash it. It takes too long. It's too thick. There's too much. It makes me feel ugly and insecure, and I wish I had a looser curl pattern. If you had asked teenage Jasmine how she felt about her natural hair, that is exactly what she would have said. Society does not treat Black women with 4C hair well at all. And honestly, if I had my hair out for longer than a certain period of time before getting a protective style, I would feel so ugly and insecure with my natural hair out, and I wouldn't want to go out and see anybody or do anything. And this was really difficult for me growing up. In middle school and early high school, I had a relaxer, and then during the natural hair movement, I had very short-lived confidence because I saw that the people at the forefront of the natural hair movement did not have the same hair texture as I did. There was a lot of tears and a lot of fighting with my hair and lots of insecurities, but I'm really happy to say that I've gotten to a place where I don't hate it anymore and I don't think it's ugly. Please know that the hair that literally grows out of your scalp is absolutely beautiful and you should not hate it. I think it's really helpful to follow people that have the same hair texture as you and to see other people embrace it.
So what I love about this clip is this sister was talking about how she hates her natural hair. Now she was, I guess, taking us back in time in terms of how she felt about her hair when she was younger and growing up. And so I think oftentimes a lot of us go through that, especially, those of us who grew up in the 80s, where, the conventional style of beauty meant that your hair was straight, relaxed, right? And then as you even move on, we see that the adoption of wigs and weaves have become widely acceptable. So not liking our hair, the way it comes out of our roots, has been really kind of programmed into us. And so, as a child growing up, when only dolls you saw were dolls with straight hair, it made you not really like what the Most High had given us. And so I think that as we start to grow and learn that we're different and that there's beauty comes in different, shades, different sizes, different hair textures. You see the sister, she learns to embrace her hair and love her hair the way it is. And she also mentioned something very, very important at the end. She talked about following people who have similar hair textures, because it's awful to follow someone or to idolize someone if their hair texture is different than yours. And I even found that out with Locs, following people who have, let's say, a different hair texture than mine, and I'm hoping, okay, I hope my locks turn out like theirs. It's just not going to work out like that. And I think in general, I think it's difficult to, want to compare yourself with others, because you're just unique, you're individual. And so your hair is never going to be exactly like someone else's hair. But I think that, to her point, following people with similar hair textures is going to help give you confidence about your hair texture and not have you have this false idea of what conventional beauty is, or what beauty is in general.
I genuinely do feel like sometimes, most of the time when my hair is not braided, I hate my hair. And this is not some anti-self, anti-blackness. I love my blackness, I love my everything, but I do not love my hair. I don't love my hair because it's so much work and it's so hard to maintain. It's so hard to upkeep. Like, I struggled for years to find the right hair products that work for my hair. And the hair products that are suggested are really expensive. The ones that you see these influencers saying that, oh, this works, are hella expensive. But even then, just washing my hair is so stressful because it takes so long for my hair to just get the water in there. And then detangling it, oh my God, detangling my hair is just, oh, man.
And so here's another clip of a sister, again, starting out by saying she hates her natural hair, but it's not really her hating her natural hair. What she's expressing is that she does not like the process of maintaining her natural hair because it can be stressful. When you have kinky, coily hair and it's wash day, it's a whole ordeal. you have to, some like to put a pre-poo before they shampoo, and then you detangle it, put it in sections, then you wash it in sections, and then you put your conditioner on, and then you rinse your conditioner out, and then you go through and start detangling. It is an all-day ordeal. Wash days was the number one reason I decided to lock my hair, because that whole process of detangling was extremely stressful, and it did, I loathed it. I loved my natural hair, but I loathed the process of washing, detangling. So I can understand where the sister is coming from. And so, usually your options, if you do not like wash days, you have a couple of options. You can have it done professionally, which, if you have the finances to do that, you can, have your hair done professionally. You can just suck it up and do it yourself and just deal with that, one day of stress, however often you wash your hair. Or you can lock your hair up, which is an alternative that many others do. So there are a number of ways to deal with it, but it sounds like this particular sister, she wants her natural hair, but she just does not like the process of maintaining it, which I think many of us have gone through, especially with kinky coily hair.
We grew up hating our natural hair. Don't get us wrong, we have a love and hate relationship with this hair. We always try to use protective style like braids, wigs. We're insecure about natural hair. Yeah, because we have really short and coarse hair. As you can see, it's 4C. Sometimes we don't like to wash our hair. Yeah. Because it's a struggle. Yeah. The girlies out there know it's a struggle to wash your hair. We're going to attempt to style our hair and try to wear it out, because this is our first time going to wear our hair out in public. Growing up, we used to get bullied in elementary school, and we used to get made fun of our hair. Because our mom, she used to do like this African style, Nigerian style hairstyle, like where she used thread, like needle thread. The Nigerian girls, you guys know what we're talking about. It looks ugly and it's like standing up. We're trying to see if we can be confident in our own skin and in our own hair. We styled our hair off camera, and this is how it turned out. This is the final result. What do you guys think? I think we nailed it as for styling our 4C hair.
So this is another thing that a lot of people don't talk about, is in our younger years, many of us were bullied because of our hair. Now, I don't really recall being bullied for my hair, but I know a lot of people have gone through being bullied because they were wearing their natural hair. I remember my hair was natural probably up until I was in junior high school. And my mom would always braid our hair, and she would braid it with the synthetic hair, and this is when the basket weaves were in style, and so my mom would do a mean basket weave hairstyle. But when it was time to take the braids out and wash your hair, typically she would do it that same day. So if I take my hair out on a Friday, my hair would be done before I go back to school on Monday. But there were some times where she was a single parent. She couldn't, because it was 3 of us, and she couldn't do all of our hair at the same time. And so sometimes, I would end up taking my hair out, and she couldn't get to it until like maybe the following day. And so she would still make us go to school. But me and one of my other sisters, anytime she did that, when she dropped us off at the bus station, we would take the bus back home, because we just did not want to be seen out with this kinky coily hair. So I think a lot of us in our younger years, we go through that, feeling very insecure about our natural hair. And so, but as you see, they progress to love their natural hair, and being confident. And I think that sometimes it's great if that confidence does happen when you're younger and as you're growing up, but sometimes it doesn't happen until we get older. And so we just have to, keep that in mind, especially for parents. If you're raising young girls, teach them to love their hair now, and that their hair is beautiful. They should not have to, especially in this time that we're living in, they shouldn't have to grow up feeling that their natural hair is less than.
You hate your natural hair because you keep trying to make it do something that it naturally doesn't do. I went to the Beauty event over the weekend, and we had a hair care panel talk, and something that they were discussing was the first step to learning how to take care of your hair is acceptance. I feel like so many people have a preconception of how their hair should be looking, and that is basically based off what they see on media, based off of the influencers, the content creators that they follow. You need to accept that you have completely different hair types, what they've done to their hair. You can do the same thing to your hair, but results will vary. Your hair was never going to look like that person's. You have type 4 hair, they have type 3 hair, they have type 2 hair. You just need to accept it. You just need to accept it and see the beauty in the hair that you have.
So what I like about this clip is, seeing people with similar hair textures like yours is good, but at the same time, it's like, just be careful, because sometimes when you are looking at other people's hair, hoping that your hair will turn out like their hair, sometimes it just doesn't happen. You can look at other people's hair or influencers for inspiration, but don't lock it in your mind or have it in concrete that your hair is going to look like that. So just be careful when you are looking at influencers or following different people with similar hair textures or even different hair textures. Your hair is going to do what it's going to do.
I can't believe there was ever a time that I was afraid to walk out of the house with the way my hair naturally grows out of my own scalp. Like, saying it out loud makes that whole statement sound even more crazy. But the reality is, a lot of Black women, even till today, are afraid, especially if they have type 4 hair, to walk out of the house with their hair in its most natural state. The truth of the matter is, a lot of Black women are extremely dishonest when it comes to the discourse surrounding our natural hair. We genuinely do believe that other hair types look better and is more valuable than our own natural hair. The problem is, a lot of Black women do not like the hair texture that is growing out of their scalp. I just want Black women to be able to create a world for themselves within our own community, where we can walk out of the house and be ourselves in our most natural state.
And so this clip really goes back to having that self-confidence. And I think that it is fantastic if you can create that environment for your children, your daughters, your nieces, as they're growing up. Create that environment for them now so that they can just learn to embrace it from an early age. But even if they have passed that point, it's never too late to, have self-love and self-acceptance. And so you have to get to that place. And it's not to say that you can't wear other hairstyles, but being comfortable in the hair that grows out your hair is important. And I think that, you must conquer that before putting on any other hairstyle, because you're going to always look to these other hairstyles to give you that validation that you need to get from just seeing your own hair as it is.
I hated my natural hair. Growing up, I would only wear braids. I would not have my natural hair out for more than like a week. Maybe on a rare occasion, you catch me with like crochet braids in or like just twists or something. Point being, my natural hair was always hidden. I never showed it. And it wasn't until I started wearing my natural hair that I realized I grew up hating my natural hair. But also a lot of it was just me not knowing how to do my hair, me not knowing how to style it, not knowing how to care for it, and also it just being really painful. It wasn't until like just last year where I was like, okay, like I want to know how to do my hair. I want to know how to be able to take care of my hair. I'm 23. That was when I was 22. So like, don't be ashamed if you're like my age or like around my age and you also are in the same boat. It literally took me 22 years.
So this clip also highlights something that many of us have dealt with. We don't know sometimes how to take care of our hair. And oftentimes that is the root of the frustration we have with our natural hair, is that we weren't really taught how to care for our hair. But nowadays, with social media, there has been an explosion of information that's out there in order to help us to better care for our natural hair. And so there are lots of products, there are lots of tutorials. You can find whatever you need in terms of how to take care of your hair. But I think many of us, we just didn't know how to take care of our hair. And so I'm thankful that we live in a time where that information is readily available for anyone who wants to care for their natural hair. And so if you are looking for natural hair care products, definitely check out Loclicious. We are an all-natural product line for locked and loose natural crown. All of our products are formulated for locks, but people with loose natural hair can also use our product. We also have our botana oil from Honduras. So definitely check us out. And we hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for sticking with us, and see you next time.
Microaggressions.